How's it going, super friends? Welcome back to my channel. Today, I wanted to present to you my review of the DC Multiverse Dark Knight's Death Metal Superman action figure. Now, this is one here that I'm not gonna lie, I was excited about, and then I wasn't excited about, and now I'm kind of in the middle. I actually wasn't going to pick him up. I decided not to get him, but then I just got him because I'd pre-ordered him months ago and forgotten about it, so here he is. So as you can see, the figure comes with both of the collect-to-build arms for Darkfather. I don't imagine I'll end up building this figure unless miraculously I end up collecting the whole wave. The only other figure from this wave that I'm really super interested in is Robin King. Maybe Wonder Woman too. We'll see. It all depends on what falls into my lap. And of course he comes with the trading card. The front of the trading card is exactly the same as the back of the box. I like the fact that they're taking a picture of the figure and turning that into a trading card, rather than just using the artwork that it's based off of. And here is what the back of the card looks like. It's got a bio as usual. You can pause to read this one if you'd like to, and if not, we'll move on to the figure. Now, as for Soups, he comes with 2 extra fists, and really that's it. Oh, and also an action figure stand as usual. You'll notice on the figure here that he comes with 2 closed punchy fists. Is this the first time really that we've gotten a Superman with 2 closed fists? And of course you can put on the other fists and install the other hands to have 2 open claw fingery hands. That is such a nose-picking finger right there. Now he's looking at it like, oh crap, where am I gonna put that? Now, on the corrupted arm for Superman, you can see that he's got this fantastic brass knuckle, or the equivalent of a brass knuckle with a Superman logo on it. Can you imagine getting punched in the face and having a Superman indent left in your forehead? Okay, so now it's just time to look at the figure. We've looked at everything else. Let's focus on Superman. A figure that, like I said, I was kind of in the middle about. I was really kind of hoping to use this body buck right here and do some form of custom, like maybe somehow combine these 2 sort of figures together. But as you can see, these blue tones are very, very different. And I'm not one for painting figures because, well, I'm not very good at it. And I don't want paint rub. I like it when the figure is actually molded in the color it's supposed to be. So this really was just a, well, take it or leave it kind of figure from McFarlane Toys. But now that I have it, I'm not as impressed as I would have hoped to be. For one, if we look down here at the S, you'll notice that it's actually painted really, really sloppy. And I'm not saying that that is everybody's experience, but as you can see from these pictures, it's definitely mine. And I don't understand why the S wasn't just casted in yellow or casted in red and only one of the colors was painted, but instead you can see it's a mess and it looks terrible. And also, Superman's face just never has looked right to me. Even with the promo images, I remember mentioning it in a video that I just was not keen on that big bubble face. The eyes don't look right, and the mouth is, well, look at this one. The black line that's supposed to be in between his lips is not where it's supposed to be. So between just not liking this face sculpt in general, and then getting one that's also kind of wonky, I just feel like this is not a good representation of Todd's finest work, what his company is really capable of. Now, aside from the issues of the face and the emblem on the chest and the paint actually being a little bit sloppy when it comes to the arm details, I will give it this. It is sculpted fantastically. It would have been cool to have some kind of a wash over it or something like that, but you know, I understand why he didn't go with that, is to keep the price down, I suppose. But the boots are sculpted fantastically. I really like that. And his pants, again, sculpted really well. The infected arm looks really great. He's got the soft rubber chains around his waist. And the torso, this is, I mean, the whole thing is sculpted fantastically. There's no complaints there, really. So I do find myself in the middle of liking this guy and not. The articulation's also kind of different with this guy. Now, he does have that big rounded piece of torso articulation up in there that has a good range of movement, and the same thing with the waist. So he's definitely a very torso-ly articulated figure. Obviously, when you try to get him in any kind of a flight pose, that heavy metal... Whoop, wow, no, it came off, I killed him. Well, that's what the inside of his head looks like. It's completely hollow. Anyway, trying to get him in any kind of a flight pose could be a little bit challenging, but nah, you know what? Even with that hair, that's not too bad, actually. The arms both have different articulation. And I mean that in the sense that, yes, they both do have the rounded hinges in the armpits. They've also got what you would consider a butterfly in each arm, and they both have a bicep swivel. When you get to the elbows, you end up with one double jointed elbow right here, which has a lot of movement, and then the other elbow is a single jointy. That's it, that's all you get. So you get one nice, well-articulated elbow and one kinda crap articulated elbow, but this one will rotate around like that in comparison to this one, which has to roll at the bicep. Superman's left wrist is a ball hinge, and we know we're gonna get a good meaty range of motion with that. And then when we go to the other one, it's a roundy peg with a big old hinge. And I guess, like, it's articulated enough for me. I'm not complaining about it, but there's certainly different forms of articulation from the elbow up. And of course down here it's going to be the same old McFarlane groin. It's fairly well articulated. We got the knees, which are double jointies and they crunch up just fine. Is there any round and round? There's some, not too much, but a little bit. And then for the ankles, here's the question, because he's got these big boots that hang over. How well articulated are those ankles going to be? Well, they're okay. They could be better, but they could be worse. And then you have the toe, which obviously is impeded somewhat by this fancy decorative piece that hangs over his boot. Now, the only comparison I'm going to make right now with this Superman figure is the original Body Buck scale McFarlane Toy Superman. I know that this is old angry face claw hand soups from the 2-pack, but you get the idea. The blues are very different, and the body sizes are very different in pretty much every way. But yeah, that's about all the time I'm going to give to this figure. It was one that I'm not super excited about, and I'm not going to lie, I'm certainly happy that looking to the future of DC Comics figures for Todd, he is going to begin to lean just a little bit more into your basic pantheon of DC Comics characters, relying possibly a little bit less on characters from storylines that are here today, gone tomorrow, and a little bit more on just the basic versions of those characters and his take and interpretation thereof. It's true, Todd's work is generally of a higher quality, it's a lot more detailed, and there's a lot more bang for buck than pretty much any other DC Comics ownership previously. That includes the DC Universe Classics. But you can't beat the DC Universe Classics character selection. That is, as yet, unmatched. But those are my thoughts. Take them or leave them. Hopefully you enjoyed this video, found it a useful, interesting waste of time for the day, and I'll see you with the next one. Have a DC day, everybody, and take care.